up, to his point, then what happens to the debt we carry? Because obviously we carry a lot of debt, a lot of it in shorter-term instruments that are being hiked by the Federal Reserve as we speak. To the National Taxpayers Union senior fellow Mattie Duppler. Now, Mattie, your fear is that this is going to increase the cost of our debt, right?
Yeah, and I think that the debt and deficit is still an issue that we need to keep an eye on. Now, there, of course, are measures that Congress and the president have worked on in order to address that issue, but there needs to be long-term sustainability measures in order to bring our debt and deficit under control. But there are biases towards spending in Congress that need to be fixed. Last week, the House of Representatives passed the president's rescissions package, which is the largest rescissions package the administration has ever sent to the Hill. And the Senate needs to act quickly in order to take up that package before it expires at the end of the week. Now, something like that, $15 billion, when you measure against the trillions in which we are leveraged right now, doesn't seem like a lot. But what it does is it sends a signal that Washington is serious about getting its spending practices under control. And it takes some of the money off the table when we talk about deficit finance spending, because what Congress does is it pilfers these pay-fors that are on balance sheets, and by getting rid of those through a rescissions package, it prevents future spending abuses that are very important to getting our fiscal house in order.
But Mattie, what about the growth argument? That I guess now the latest talk is that the quarter we're in will produce maybe a 4% or greater pickup in GDP activity. That can go a long way to bringing revenues in, which brings down those figures and makes the absorption of the higher rates at least easier. What do you think?
Well, I think that we need to be careful when we talk about growth. Let's identify what the true drivers of growth are. And it's pro-growth policy that allows for our economy to be unhinged from what has been.
No, I agree with you, but I don't care. I'm just saying that, I'm not minimizing your argument, that revenue will be revenue, and that will offset whatever you're worried about with the uptick in rates.
No. So, Neil, you can't tax your way out of this problem. You can't grow your way entirely out of this problem. If you look at our entitlement programs, our Social Security and our Medicares, those present an $82 trillion liability in the coming years.
I'm not even minimizing it. I agree with you. I'm just saying, just hear me out, that this growth thing might save some of their bacon for a little while. So
I agree with you that growth is the problem, is the solution that fixes a lot of problems. Without growth, we can't even start talking about fixing the infrastructure and the spending issue that we have. Totally with you there, Neil. But what we need to do is we need to focus on what it is that provides growth. The tax bill last year is absolutely the #1 reason that we're seeing a lot of these economic fundamentals start to change. But the deregulatory agenda coming out of this administration as well, crucial to keeping that growth on the path that it's on right now. And to your point, this can't be a flash in this pan. This can't be just a sugar high. And I don't think it is. I think you see a lot of observers saying that, well, the effects of the tax reform bill or deregulation, those are really short term. I fundamentally disagree with that synopsis. And I think if you look at what happened with us completely rewriting the tax code, we're going to see dividends on that in the coming years. Now, that's happening slowly. And I think that's why you see some of the hand-wringing over the Fed announcement yesterday, which is that we haven't seen wages tick up as much as we would like to see in this inflation environment. But we will start to see that when businesses are able to realign their behavior as these rules get fleshed in. We've got a lot of runway to go with this year, which will catalyze growth in the years to come.
We shall see. Mattie, thank you. Always good seeing you. Thank you very much. All right. Well, you would think now, given the fact that Chinese and the United States were in sync on working with the North Koreans,